Alright guys, welcome back again to the channel. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching. Thanks for joining back to watch the updates. So we have some interesting stories. First of all, I just wanted to say big congratulations to some of our players who made the Ballon d'Or list, male category, women's category specifically. The likes of our head coach, Justin Madugu of the Super Falcons, obviously deservedly got that nomination and is going to compete with other top women's coaches for that award of the best coach of the year. And then NNADOZIE also made the list to compete for the Yashin Trophy, which is the best goalkeeper award for the women's category. This is so nice to see. They put in a lot of hard work. We saw that pay off in the recently concluded African Cup of Nations women's category, and definitely they are getting the recognition that they deserve. But there's also the men's category, which was also released yesterday, and it's sad to see that we do not have any Nigerian in this category. There's no Nigerian in the men's category, which is a little bit devastating, because I thought that at least Victor OSIMHEN did enough to be included in that list, because of what we saw him do with Galatasaray. Scored over 26 goals, won 2 domestic trophies, amid all the chaos and all whatnot between his parents' club and his loan club as at that time. But at the end of the day, the only African players that we see on this list for men's category are Akraf Hakimi, Yashin Bono, 2 Moroccans, and then we have Mosala of Egypt. We have Gurisai Sehu of Guinea, and then there's also Malawi Chawinga. So these are the players. Okay, the Chawinga is a lady. She made the list for the women's category, and there's also Barbara Banda for Zambia women's category. So that's the list. Of course, they are still going to delete or eliminate a couple of players to arrive at the people that they want to win the award. But when you look at this, sometimes it doesn't feel like it's accurate. This list, it doesn't really feel accurate. But let me know what you think about the list, guys. Moving on, guys, there is an update concerning the likes of Super Eagles legend John Utaka. John Utaka in the early 2000s was one of the most trusted attackers that the Super Eagles had at the moment. I think he played in the World Cup 2002, and had a couple of appearances overall for Nigeria. Scored, I think, like 6 goals before he retired. But after he retired, he went into coaching and into management. He played for Montpellier. That's one of the clubs I played, and also Portsmouth as well. But with Montpellier, it felt like they loved him the more. He became something close to a legend of the club, and then they retained him, after his retirement, and he was working with Montpellier, under the managerial, ranking. And he's been the head coach of the Montpellier youth team for, I think, for several years now. But recently he got promoted to be the head coach of the women's team, Montpellier women's team, for the new season 2025-2026 Ligue 1 Feminine. And interestingly, he's the only African coach in this women's league. It's so nice to see. Of course, wish him all the best in this new endeavor. But moving on, guys, we have the Falconets of Nigeria, who have now started preparing for their forthcoming qualifiers, FIFA qualifiers game coming up in September. They actually have a game against Rwanda coming up on the 21st of September, and then that's going to be played in Kigali, which is away, and then we have a return leg on the 27th of September to be played in Ibadan. But the latest right now is that the coach has now released a total 35-man provisional squad, ahead of these qualifiers next month. And the coach, who goes by the name Moses Aduku, was actually the previous coach of the Delta Queens, but now he got this job, which is actually very new, and is going to be tasked with the responsibility of qualifying these girls for the World Cup. And then, according to the brief, their camp opens on Sunday, which is this Sunday, 10th of August, and then they will start their training sessions in preparation for the very very important encounter, for next month. And by the look of things, Coach Aduku wants to invite almost all of the players that we saw, in the last FIFA Under 20 World Cup played in Colombia, where we qualified, beyond the group stages, but were knocked out in the round of 16. So it's going to be very interesting to keep an eye on that one and see how it unravels at the end of the day.